How does one use mindfulness to deal with a challenging environment such as a prison, a mental hospital, etc., maintaining compassion while enduring day after day of abuse? I think this question has been answered by what we talk about Shitikakpa, a mental hospital, a prison, represent a difficult environment where there is a collective suffering. In a prison, not only prisoners suffer, but the keeper, the administration also suffer. And in the mental hospital, not only patients suffer, but also doctors, nurses suffer. So if you happen to be in a prison or in a mental hospital, whether you are an inmate of the prison or you are an officer taking care of prisoners, if you are a patient in a mental hospital or a doctor, suffering is what you experience, you touch every day. So how can you survive in such an environment and effectuate a kind of change? There was a young prisoner in a prison in America who wrote to Thầy and said that someone had given him a book with the title Bước tới thanh thơi. Stepping into freedom. Stepping into freedom. It's strange because that book is the handbook of a novice, to train a novice. But it happened that one of such book was given to a prisoner in America. Stepping into freedom. Maybe because of that title. Because those who are in prison, they want freedom. And to shave your head, to become a novice, is one of the ways to seek for freedom. To live the life of a monastic is to seek for freedom. And that freedom you can maintain as long as you like by the practice of the 10 novice precepts. He did not have much to read, but he read that book and he read it over again. And one day he decided to ordain himself as a novice. He just shaved his head and transmit to himself the 10 novice precepts. And he not only he practiced the 10 novice precepts, but he also practiced the mindful manners that he had read in the book. Because as a novice, you have fine manners to practice. So that brought him a lot of joy and freedom. And even in difficult situations like that, people can find a way out. There's a nun. She's my disciple. She has studied in America, the University of Bloomington, especially on she studied English literature. She became a nun, and she was in a group of working for peace, and she was arrested and put into prison with several other women. The prison was very crowded. And she tried to practice sitting meditation in her cell. Because she knows that if she can do that, she can help calm down the suffering of other prisoners. But the guardian of the prison did not like it. He saw that kind of sitting as a challenge to him, his authority. So he did not allow her to practice sitting. So she had to wait until the light is off to sit up. And of course, in the hall, there were many women who did not sleep, so they knew that a nun is sitting and radiating the energy of mindfulness and compassion, so that helped them to suffer less. And then she practiced walking meditation in the space of that room. And she preserved her sanity just by the practice of sitting and walking. And she helped many people. She talked to them, she gave many Dhamma talks and so on. So if you know how to do, and then even in a situation like that, you can play the role of Kshitigarbha, the Bodhisattva of great aspiration. You nourish yourself, you preserve your sanity, and you can help many other people. A group of monastics, including myself, visited a prison in the state of Virginia. I had to go through many kind of doors. And that day we were able to bring our food inside and eat with the prisoners. Well, our food had to go through control examination on also. I noticed that inside, they had also some rose bushes with rose still blooming. So the first thing I told the inmate is that I noticed that the rose in here, they are as beautiful as the roses outside. And that is true. And the air you breathe inside of here is not less good than the air we breathe outside. I begin with the very concrete things like that. And here you have enough place to do walking meditation. Out there, many people don't know how to walk. They have feet, they have the ground, but not many people know the pleasure of walking meditation. So you can do it here. Maybe if they release you, you are down out there, you don't know how to enjoy. But here you can enjoy. You think that you are in prison, but out there, many of us are in our prison. Our prisons are unbearable. We are imprisoned by our own anger, hate, despair. And don't think that you here inside the prison do not have freedom. Outside, they are also in prison for their whole life. No way to wake up. And maybe you have noticed that while you are in prison, you have more conditions to look back at yourself and learn the way to heal and to transform. It may be a good condition that many of us do not have out there. So there are many things that can help them to see things differently. Many of us have tried to go into prisons and organize retreats, days of mindfulness. And we can see that people suffer less. And one prisoner can help other prisoners to suffer less. And when prisoners suffer less, the prison keepers, they suffer less also. I remember that day we were eating with prisoners, and many of them did not eat, they just watched us eating. Very strange for them. Monks and nuns, they sit down, relaxing and eat and chew, and they learn. So joy and peace and compassion are possible even in difficult situations. But if you are a volunteer, if you are someone from the outside, coming in order to help, you know that you should continue to be nourished by your sangha if you want to continue for a long time to help in this situation. Otherwise, you will burn out and you can no longer continue helping people to suffer less. So any one of us who is trying to help people to suffer less, even if you are school teachers or psychotherapists or doctors, we should look for the way to be nourished and heal so that we can continue our work. The monks and the nuns in Plum Village, the lay residents, we know that also. So we organize life in Plum Village in such a way that we have enough opportunity to build brotherhood, sisterhood, joy, harmony. And we know that if we don't have enough of these things, going out and help people will not last very long. So we have retreats for monastics, health retreats, retreat for healing, and so on. So if you are a therapist, a doctor, a nurse, a school teacher, a social worker, and so on, you need a base of operation. You need a family, you need a spiritual family where you can go back from time to time to get the nourishment and healing that you need. Otherwise you will burn out. So even Siddhikarbhas, Avalokiteshvaras need nourishment, healing, as sangha. We have bodhisattvas around on our earth. And many of them burn out after some time of serving. So you have to help create communities where there is enough brotherhood, sisterhood, and harmony and joy, so that we can continue to nourish these bodhisattvas, so that they can continue for a long time. Your intention to love is not enough. Your intention to serve is not enough. You need nourishment. And that is why building a community of brothers and sisters, generating brotherhood, sisterhood, harmony and joy to nourish bodhisattvas, engage in the engagement to help the world is very important.